Hi everybody, it's Steve Olson. It's April 27th, 2016. Texas is becoming kind of a hot spot for seeing the phenomenon. The all sky cams today are all showing it again, especially in the United States and North America, so it's becoming very kind of freaky in North America. Let's just put it that way. But first, let's go to Texas. This is from one of the Texas sky cams. And, basically what I want to point out here is the objects around the sun are becoming very visible. And especially this is looking almost like that one Australian Skycam that they shut down back in January. But the sun is rising. We are tilting. We're out of everything is kind of out of whack right now. But here we're seeing a very strong manifestation of it. Now, let me get out of this for a second and show you this video cam video loop. And I needed to get this right away before they took it down because it's a 24-hour time lapse. And in this particular one is Cedar Creek, Avonlea Oaks Farm, Cedar Creek, Texas. Okay? And you can go to this. I'll put the link here. You can go look at it yourself. But check this out. Pay attention to this. Then did you see that object just go down through the sky? Here comes Mr. Moon. It's just kind of incredible footage. I'm just letting you look at it yourself and just make your own judgment and determination on it. Something's getting illuminated behind the sun. Oh my God, there it goes. So, judge that one for yourself. So I wanted to show you that for sure. Thank you for the subscriber that said that. Now this next story comes under the category of WOW damage control, I guess, by NASA. That's what I would call it. It's a story by Kim LeCapria. So basically, the claim, she says the Earth's magnetosphere collapsed for 2 hours on April 23rd, as documented by BP Earthwatch, myself, and many other researchers. We hypothesized that it was either from a planet or some kind of galactic force that, opposed the force of our sun in some way, shape, or form, or it could have been due to CERN. We were making hypotheses and debating that in a very fair way. But all of a sudden, NASA comes out with this basic PR release, and if you can believe it, what they're saying is the report was false. It's a complex topic, making bombastic claims, blah blah blah. It was saying that that basically the equipment was malfunctioning. It simply vanished. See, so basically they just basically said that it basically failed. So you take a look at this report and tell me if that's not damage control from us losing losing our shield for our Earth. And this is how they're going to gloss it over. Come on, guys, don't be sheep. And then in the same breath, they'll release. They're basically doing the slow release of information to get us used to the idea that all of a sudden we're going to find a bunch of stuff in our own solar system. Here's the story called Migmig. So the Hubble telescope supposedly found on the outer reaches next to a dwarf planet a moon, and they call it Migmig. And but basically, this is one of those kind of things where it's just they're continuing to kind of just slowly trickle out words like dwarf, brown dwarf, stars, planets, moons, right? They're just continuing to kind of condition the public. In this segment, one of my subscribers actually did a round the world look at all the different sky cams, and especially in North America, put it to some music. So I thought we'd play it together. Here we go. Arizona. Pine Mountain. That big orb above the sun. California. It's kind of fun. I thought we'd just let the art come out a little bit. All right, cool. Now I have to turn it off. How cute. Thank you for that. Now this next one is from Spain. Okay, and what we are looking at here is obviously the sunrise, but you will notice in this picture a second object next to the sun, and it's kind of obfuscated by the palm trees, but I'll display it for you so you can see it. You can kind of see it and follow it up right through the sky. So there you go, astronomers. This is where we're seeing it from Spain. You could probably calculate and get your telescopes on that if you were a serious astronomer. I've seen enough to not have to put a telescope on it anymore. One more time. There we go. All right. So there's another piece of evidence. Here we're seeing a, obviously a lens flare here with the lens flare with the dotted orb in the middle of it, which still kind of trips me out every time I see it. But I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the dotted orb lens flare for a moment. Okay. I want to draw your attention to this purplish blue object here. We're going to see it in a couple of images today. I just want you to know that we're going to help corroborate some folks that have been sending me this. But basically, it actually has its own orb. If you'll notice, this blue dot has its own, halo effect, if you will. Very interesting, very strange. And then, of course, we've got Mr. Dotted Orb down here, which again is just trippy. Okay, that's weird. Everybody agree with me? That's weird. Here's a long-suffering subscriber who sent me many photographs, but she's been able to actually pick out the actual objects. And, we all know that this is a lens flare, and she knew it too. But she was able to actually go on a daytime shot and go in and actually pick out actual objects. Now look, as I scooch in on that as far as I can, you can see that these objects are are being illuminated by the sun. Okay. Wow, that's some pretty good stuff. Very good stuff. Man, I hope those aren't all like centaurs or who knows what, right? And again, this is just that strange. Every photo now that I'm starting to see has this strange, straight line going directly through the middle of the sun image up there, and I'm starting to wonder why. Interesting. This is a person that actually took an IR camera and pointed it up into a black part of space, and this is what she captured. Now, this is like the amount of junk in our neighborhood, I guess, is what she's saying. The other thing you have to remember when you do IR cameras up in the sky too, though, is you're going to see stars and things that you normally wouldn't see. So I wouldn't say that this is all debris, but it is interesting. If you have an IR camera, take a look. It's pretty cool. This next one is Croatia. And this is interesting. Croatia seems to not get as much chemtrailing, I guess. Maybe they do, but I've heard that they get less, or at least certain times have less. But I'll just take you through this series of photographs. Here's one. Wow, man. That is intense. Okay. This next one is a sunrise seen from the Solar Impulse 2, which is on its way to Mountain View, California, again showing the object. Okay. This is a red object that was captured. Just a second. This is just a unbelievable, almost, it's a dramatic photograph of some kind of blue object under the sun. That's all I can say it is. And that's all I can say about that. Here's the strange beam coming from on top of the sun, captured by a photograph. Maybe helps corroborate some of the ISS photography that we saw yesterday. in terms of the potential artificial sun or redirected sunlight. You know, guys, these are crazy, big time, weird things I'm talking about, and I get it. But wow, look at the stuff we're showing you. I mean, I'm not making this up. Now, could some of this stuff have been photoshopped when it was sent to me? Yeah, maybe a couple things, but a lot of these things they're not photoshopped. Okay, now you look at this kind of an image here, and you can see that these red dots are caused by something in front of the sun. We've discussed this many times. But in this image, where we have this unique kind of thing where we're seeing some kind of a reflection or refraction coming off the back of this, either the atmosphere or both. And in addition to the kind of the red, what I'm looking at is this green, red, and blue object, which tracks kind of with the system's core planetary structure, if you will, that we've discussed in visions and dreams and prophecies that people have had. So I'm just saying that it's kind of an interesting, straightforward thing right there. There's the blue orb again, man. Wow. Here, I'll suck in on a little bit here. I'm going right down to the pixelation on it. That is an amazing, amazing photograph. Here's some moonshots, interestingly, through an IR camera. I just thought these were interesting in terms of what came up with the IR camera. I cannot explain why the moon has a halo around it, you guys. I've studied the sun enough. Maybe it's some kind of a similar technology being used on the moon, but I also know people are using their telescopes on the moon and getting results. So this one confuses me a little bit. I don't know what to say about that. Is this an object behind the moon? I don't know, to be that centered on the moon. Again, this is, and then we've got this little object in here and so forth. And then let's just take a look at the second one she gave us, and you just can kind of see this very strange halo around the moon. This is a wonderful drawing given to me by a wonderful darling subscriber that actually shows that she has been measuring from her point of view on the Earth basically the 45 degree southwest variance from 2014 to 2016 from her perspective with her documentation. This is just as valid a documentation as any scientist documenting it. My subscribers are smart enough to measure 45 degrees variance on a sighting of the moon. Okay, and so she's just hypothesizing that as the pole shift, Earth tilts, her perspective of the moon will change, and she's just proving that with her own little. And it's not to scale, yes, we know, but it's a good little lesson. Here again, this is just an image from today, and then again, if you blow up into this area here, you start to see the shape of the planets and so forth. This is, sunrise webcams to Mexico. I would have to say Manzanillo, and that's an interesting manifestation. It's glowing through the clouds, man. That's what it's doing. Let me blow in on this. You're telling me that this is a lens flare of some sort? Guys, it's getting real, man. I'm telling you, it's getting real, and it's really, think about what we're showing you. Okay. Here's a photograph that I just thought was an interesting capture, and the reason it's so credible to me is because it appears to be taking on the light of the sun itself. And of course, that's not the moon, because the moon and the sun should not be showing up together like that, to my knowledge. And this is just me blowing up that one interesting manifestation that we captured yesterday on that very intense series of photographs. And again, these are like, to me, plasma discharges, things that that we talk about all the time in science, but never accept that they actually happen in reality. That kind of plasma reaction. Well, if you've got two nuclear, generators coming in with proximity within each other, and the electromagnetics that are involved, you're going to get crazy manifestations like this, and that's exactly what this was, and that's why I wanted to blow it up and look at it closer. Here again, the halo. This is from this morning. Palm Springs. There's the halo. It's every day in every way. This is just a huge like orb showing up on the Brixis Belgium Europe Skycam. This was just a a slightly modified image, and again, it's just one of those things that the subscriber sending to me, not really intending me to put it up, but I just think it's compelling because it's that striped planetary structure. On the Earth's magnetics, we got Grandpa's old, I didn't, but one of the subscribers got Grandpa's old compass and compared it to the Samsung compass, and there was an 8-degree variance on that. That's what we saw on that on the compass versus GPS right now today. So it doesn't look like there's much of a variance as what we saw the other day when people's compasses were spinning in circles, but we still have a variance. Here's a neat little discussion that I think is worthy of discussion, that just kind of walking through from a subscriber. This subscriber writes, before any brown dwarfs started pulling us from the south, we were slightly bulging from the sides as a result of the Earth's rotation, which of course makes perfect sense from a centrifugal force perspective. What he's saying is that the Earth, as we're tidally pulled into a more perfect sphere, it's going to put that kind of pressure onto the plates, which causes the earthquakes. So yeah, this is a little bit more root cause of what we would see, why we will see major earthquakes, not just the fact that it's pulling the crust up, but the fact that it's actually making the Earth, shape shift a little bit like a Oompa Loompa kind of, and that's going to cause the destruction areas to go off. So this has several effects, and I really like this overview. First of all, the earthquakes are going to happen near diagonal fault lines. Second, Yellowstone is less of a concern because the Earth's magnetic core is being dragged towards the brown dwarf star at a rate faster than our planet. In case you don't know, supervolcanoes take their heat and lava directly from the Earth's core. Heat loss from an extra hot core being dragged away could slow Yellowstone's pace. And one of the things I've been suspicious of is distracting us with Yellowstone stories. And so I'm learning not to chase around Yellowstone stories and kind of look elsewhere when I see now a lot of talk about Yellowstone. And I just want to say be careful, because here's somebody that's giving an argument that we might not see it there because of what's happening. And don't expect the Earth's core to come flinging out of our planet. We do have a few homeostasis systems in the Earth to keep that from happening. And strangest of all, if the tidal force is extreme cold, you can see continents drift apart at a very noticeable level. The North American continent has been under some stress to split itself apart diagonally. It's possible it will happen, but as there are new fault lines near Oklahoma, this is one of the things I think Jesse talks about sometimes at BP Earthwatch. This could result in that could be one of the reasons why that area is seeing increased activity, because one of these diagonal fault lines, but it will be loud and destructive. And I agree. I thought this was just a really well-written letter to me, and I wanted to share that with you all. Here's more moon glow observatory, but we were getting this dark object showing up on this particular camera, which was a little disconcerting and weird. So we did document that, and it has like kind of a halo around it. If anybody knows of a dark object like that, and that we should know about in our solar system, just let me know. Again, Winter Haven, Florida, but we again saw this dark, object in the sky. This is the all sky camera running, but I think it's in Italy. But what I think is interesting about this one is just, again, it's showing this refracted image or image of these planets, I think, in a little bit more realistic scale when I see something like that. And I think a lot of what we're seeing is magnified. It doesn't mean that it's not coming at us like a freight train. It just means, we can't take every photograph as being like live image. And this is just kind of an interesting, thing. When people are starting to look at the sun, they're starting to see these little interesting things appear. Like here's an orb that appears out the side of the sun blur. This is probably, but again, I have more and more people looking at the sun now and noticing their surroundings and waking up. And I just wanted to thank everybody just for a moment for supporting the channel. And I pray for you guys all the time. And if you can, and if it causes a burden for you at all, but if you can throw me a couple bucks, that'd be great. God bless you guys, and take care. Bye-bye.